This video is how God communicates, part 1. I love YouTube. I can be anywhere with my cell phone and tap into a world of information. After that, it is just a matter of separating the wheat from the chaff. Hearing from God is one of the subjects that challenges me the most. I have learned a lot from YouTube, the Bible, and meditating. For instance, I asked the Lord what He would like me to teach this week. I got a feeling I should look at my YouTube channel, and I began scrolling through my videos. I went to the first video. God spoke to me 5 times and saved my life. Then something popped into my mind. Tell them how I speak to them. I knew I had just gotten a download from God. Immediately, I realized God had just guided me to my channel and dropped the idea into my mind. That is one way He communicates. Then I could see an outline developing. Before I continue with the outline, I want to point out that God speaks to everyone, regardless of religion or lack thereof. Now, continuing, this is the list of His methods of how He communicates. Audibly, the Bible, snapshots, visions, dreams, ideas, thoughts, a name or word, feelings, a clenching feeling in the stomach, guiding us, journaling, withdraws fellowship, prophets, and judgment. So, let's examine these ways He communicates. An audible voice. When we think of God speaking to us, we think of hearing an audible voice. That is very, very rare. See my first podcast entitled, God Spoke to Me 5 Times and Saved My Life. I will use the word communicate rather than speak, because as you will see, He has many other ways to communicate with us. The Bible. The first and most important way He communicates is when we regularly read the Bible. From the Bible we learn history, knowledge, wisdom, and how to conduct our lives. He uses the Bible in other ways too. Once, while reading, I saw a verse rise from the page slightly, while the surrounding verses were out of focus. Holy Spirit was making sure I saw what He wanted me to see. Our mind. His favorite way is to drop thoughts into our mind. From out of nowhere we get a thought. It might be a name, an idea, a snapshot, a vision, or a dream. Sometimes He speaks directly to our mind, verbally. An idea. He gives us ideas. For example, I was a mechanical designer in the aerospace industry. One day, I was asked to design a turnover fixture that could be mounted in an existing shipping container for a satellite. The fixture needed to rotate a 4,000-pound satellite from a vertical to horizontal position and lock it in that position for travel. I won't describe the challenges this had. I sat at my computer, my mind whirling. I prayed. Moments later, I saw in color how this fixture should look. I knew from experience where to start the design and then continued to the tough part. I won't bore you with the details, but when I got to the place where I needed to define the mechanical power device to rotate the satellite, he literally guided me to where to find the device called an actuator. The whole rotation fixture weighed 6,000 pounds and cost over $350,000 to build. It worked perfectly the first time it was tested. I got the credit for the design, but it was God's idea. He doesn't mind. A snapshot. Last November 2023, my wife and I considered selling our home of 43 years to move closer to our youngest daughter and our 3 grandchildren. My oldest daughter lives with us, and it would mean uprooting her as well. I prayed and asked the Lord for guidance. Hours later, I got a snapshot of my daughter. At the same time, I got the thought that we needed to consider her too. My wife and I discussed it and decided not to move for complicated reasons concerning my daughter. A vision. Many years ago, I was asked to pray for a young Marine who was going to have his face removed so surgeons could remove a tumor from his brain. See my video entitled How to Pray Against Cancer for the whole story. I put my hand on his shoulder to pray when suddenly I got a vision of Jesus cursing the fig tree. Mark 11, verses 12 through 25. From this vision, I realized that I was to curse the cancer from its roots, just like Jesus cursed the fig tree. So I did, and the Marine did not need the operation. God healed him. Thoughts. In 1905, Albert Einstein published his theory of relativity. The theory of relativity explains the relationship between space and time. He could see that relationship in his mind. I am sure he thought about it for quite some time. God, I am sure, planted this in his mind and then expanded on it over time as Albert understood more clearly the intricacies of this revolutionary thought. As a result, he published additional papers adding to his original theory. I'll bet you have had thoughts just pop into your mind. Now you know where they came from. A name. One day, he dropped a name of a friend in my mind. I dropped what I was doing and called. Sure enough, they were going through a rough time, and I was able to help. I was an answer to prayer. Feelings. We all have experienced this. It might be a heavy feeling about something, or if God is encouraging you, you might have a feeling of excitement or joy. God is talking to you. We are halfway through this video, which would have been rather long, so I want to cut it right here and continue on part 2. I hope that you will find the topic interesting. If you do, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for listening.